Sun's out. I love mornings like this. I know it's not the warmest, but give me this any day of the week. People jogging or yogging with a soft J. I never know. Welcome back to BT. Tammie, Meredith, and Sid here with you. Sorry, go ahead.
Who never knows?
You never know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Is it a GIF or a
Just-
GIF? Is it a jog or a yog?
Just
We don't
run
know.
for an extended period of time. I don't know. It's a new thing. Back to the Canada Post issue that we were talking about in the You Sound Off. The numbers here are staggering. It's worth going over again. They're reporting a recorded loss before taxes last year of $748 million. Sixth straight year of losses for the National Postal Service. Canada Post is considering things such as switching mail delivery from every weekday to every 2 or 3 days. The price of a single domestic stamp is now $115, up from $107. Results were negatively impacted by a lot of things that we're aware of here. The post-pandemic surge in parcel delivery competition, the ongoing erosion of transaction mail. Over the last 20 years, the amount of mail Canadians receive has declined by more than 50%, while the number of addresses has increased by more than 3 million. I am team community mailbox. I didn't like it when I first got it. Now I can't imagine my life without it. I'm fine with it. But in terms of where Canada Post goes here, Mary, I go with you. Again, there are reports that they don't have enough money to make it past early next year. So things are going to have to change. What would you change?
This makes me sad. I don't know why it makes me emotional, but it really does. I feel like, you know, the Postal Service and Canada Post, I mean, they are doing such great work, and I know my postal worker, and I don't know. I find that a real loss. Obviously, they're balancing books, and numbers have to make sense, but there's integrity there, and there's non-privatization there, and all of those things are so important to us as a society. So I find that, I guess I'm in my feels about it right now before I have a solution, but I suppose you could go down to a two every other day or 2 to 3 day delivery. I think I could handle that. I'm certainly not getting as much mail as I used to. Things are so electronic nowadays in terms of bills and everything, but yeah.
I would think that their packaging service, package delivery though, if there's a way that they can hone in on that Amazon Prime and all of the deliveries that we're getting, as much as we're getting less mail, I know we're all getting way more packaging in terms of deliveries. So if there's a way that they could just kind of transition over to that more, because I find that it is, the FedExes and the bigger delivery companies that are doing a lot of that. If there's a way that Canada Post can hone in on that too and get some of the cash from that, that would be wonderful, because you're right, it's an institution that we have known, you know, since the beginning of time, really, beginning of this country, and you don't want to see it go away, this crown corporation that has been with us forever.
And a lot of jobs on the line here, obviously. And look, you can take it to another level and say, okay, you got to start working weekends here. If you're going to compete with the Amazons of the world and all these other packaging services, like you got to extend the hours where workers can operate, and that has to be collectively bargained, obviously. It's not just something that can be unilaterally thrown in. But, you know, it goes with a lot of other things. There are things that just haven't adapted in our world from a business standpoint. And it's cruel, and it is sad. And I get the same feelings that you get on this. This is like, mail was all of our lives for an extended period of time, and it still is for a lot of people, but not as much. It's got to go down to 2 or 3 days a week. But I do believe I'm not mad at other institutions and businesses for being as efficient as they are. This is what consumers want. This is what consumers demand here, and they're getting it instantaneously, pardon me. I do feel bad for people working for Canada Post, but I don't know what you do at this point other than try and save all the money you can and try and keep this going, because there are rural communities, a lot of them in this country, that need this for all kinds of things, that don't live in the GTA or where we are, who don't get access to a lot of very important things in their lives. So I see a lot of sides to this. I usually don't. I live in a black and white world.
It's the running
to my detriment.
It's the running shoes.
It's exposing myself a little today in every which way. We do have a few minutes here before we go, and Tam, I want to just update again the situation at Drake's place, because there was a shooting a couple of mornings back, but but there was another incident yesterday. It seems pretty cut and dry as to what happened. But what do we know about it?
So we know that it was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday. Police had to respond once again to the scene because if you remember yesterday morning, Karen Seolin was there live. There were no police officers on scene throughout the morning. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon they got called back for a man who was trying to break in and break onto the property somehow sneak onto the property. He was arrested, but under the Mental Health Act. So there were some mental health issues there. You can imagine that because of the prominence of this story in the headlines, that it's word has gotten out, and there may be instances where people are either just driving by to see what it looks like and what's going on there, or in this case, someone in crisis who needed help.
But unrelated.
As far as we know,
yeah.
as far as we know, unrelated. We don't know. We only know the person was arrested under the Mental Health Act, and we haven't heard anything else from police just yet in terms of an update on the shooting itself.
Is that strange at this point for something this high profile?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think that police want to make sure that they have all their ducks in a row when they do come out and provide an update as well. Would love to know if the security guard is still considered to be in life-threatening condition. That's one update that we love to see, that he's improved.
See improve, yeah.
Yeah, sure. So still waiting for information on that, but I don't think it's odd. I think police often do take some time. They did put out a release yesterday, just kind of detailing what happened, what they wanted to release. I think when it comes to suspect descriptions and vehicle descriptions, they want to make sure everything is
100%.
correct before they come out and provide an update.
And I would like to think there were some pretty high-end cameras in that neighborhood. You would assume.
I would assume.
But I appreciate the police not wanting to throw everything out there until they were 100% sure. But again, the other thing we do know in terms of Drake's house specifically is his Google Maps did appear on a major single that recently was released, one of the biggest songs in the world. You're gonna look. I know the line. I've heard this a lot. Well, everyone knew where Drake lived. Well, I don't know if everyone did. I know a lot of people who follow a lot of music knew. I don't think everyone knew. So I mean, the more this kind of happens, that I go back. I think about that a little bit. But again, we don't know much from police. That's all we've been given, and that's the latest from Drake's place and that incident yesterday. Tammie, thank you very much for that. Any more updates on that? Keep it locked right here on Breakfast Television. Karen, Tammie, and our whole news team are on this. All right.